Welcome to our deep dive into the real-life journeys of Full House stars' beloved figures who shaped our childhoods, but whose stories off-screen tell of struggle, resilience, and growth. To kick things off, why do you think the show's warmth and humor still resonate decades later?
Full House offered more than laugh-sit-modeled family support and forgiveness, which struck a chord during the rapidly changing social climate of the late 80s and 90s. But behind the scenes, the cast faced challenges that mirror life's unpredictability, making their stories even more relatable today.
That's a powerful observation. Let's transition from the show's comforting atmosphere to the real-life struggles its stars endured, starting with Bob Saget, whose life starkly contrasted his on-screen persona.
Absolutely. Bob Saget's journey is a striking reminder that public personas often mask private pain, and understanding this helps us approach celebrity narratives with deeper empathy and perspective.
Bob Saget's portrayal of Danny Tanner made him a symbol of gentle fatherhood, yet his stand-up comedy was famously raw and unfiltered. How did these dual identities shape his personal and professional life?
It's fascinating Saget's near-death experience at 22 shifted his worldview, propelling him into comedy as a way to process life's fragility. His edgy humor was an outlet, a stark contrast to the wholesome TV dad, reflecting the complexity of human coping mechanisms.
That duality must have been a heavy burden. After his sister's tragic death from scleroderma, Saget redoubled his efforts in advocacy. How did grief influence his creative output and public service?
Grief became a driving force. He directed the film For Hope in her memory and raised millions for research. Studies show purposeful action after loss can foster healing. Saget's story embodies this, turning sorrow into meaningful impact.
Switching gears, Doris Roberts brought depth to Claire Tanner and later redefined the TV mom archetype. Her career spanned over 7 decades. What can we learn from her sustained success and reinvention?
Roberts defied ageism and typecasting. She transitioned from Broadway to sitcoms, winning 4 Emmys for Everybody Loves Raymond. Her journey shows that adaptability, not just talent, extends one's relevance, echoing Harvard's research on lifelong learning and cognitive resilience.
And her life outside Hollywood was just as rich. She navigated personal loss and devoted herself to philanthropy, notably animal rights and children's causes. How did service shape her later years?
Service gave her a renewed sense of purpose. Psychologists note that altruism can combat loneliness and depression in older adults. For Roberts, giving back was both a healing process and a legacy.
Marsha Wallace, memorable for her brief but impactful Full House role, lived a life marked by openness about mental health and illness. How did her transparency set a precedent for others in entertainment?
Wallace's memoir, Don't Look Back, We're Not Going That Way, broke stigmas around depression and cancer survival. By sharing her struggles, she fostered empathy and encouraged others to seek help, aligning with modern mental health advocacy trends.
She also became a role model for resilience, raising her son while battling illness. In what ways does her legacy inspire those facing seemingly insurmountable odds?
Her story illustrates that vulnerability can coexist with strength. Like a phoenix, she continually reinvented herself on stage, in voice acting, and as an advocate, reminding us that setbacks can be catalysts for profound growth.
Denise Dowse's commanding presence on screen often defied Hollywood's narrow casting of Black women. How did her career choices challenge stereotypes and open doors for future generations?
Dowse selected roles projecting intelligence and authority. Judges, principals, doctors at a time when such representation was rare. By embodying these characters, she subtly challenged industry norms, echoing findings that diverse media portrayals boost self-esteem among marginalized groups.
Her late-life entry into directing, particularly the Mahalia Jackson biopic, seems emblematic of personal reinvention. What can her story teach us about pursuing new passions, even later in life?
She proved it's never too late to start anew. Neuroplasticity research shows adults can acquire new skills well into their 60s, and beyond. Dowse's pivot to filmmaking is living proof of this boundless potential.
Yvonne Cole's journey from Broadway to painting reveals the hidden costs and triumphs of being a Latina actress in mid-20th century Hollywood. How did she carve space for herself in a restrictive industry?
Yvonne leveraged her heritage with pride, refusing to be pigeonholed. Her role in West Side Story was groundbreaking for its time. Later, she turned to visual arts, finding new avenues for self-expression when Hollywood's doors narrowed, echoing the importance of creative flexibility.
Her personal life was equally complex: multiple marriages, heartbreak, and resilience. What lessons can we draw from her ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks?
Her story is a testament to perseverance. Psychologists call this post-traumatic growth, the ability to find meaning and even flourish after adversity. Yvonne's quiet defiance inspires us to define success on our own terms.
Jack Crucian, though in only 2 Full House episodes, left a deep emotional mark. What makes a brief role resonate across generations, and how did his career exemplify the power of understated storytelling?
Crucian's authenticity shone through his every performance. He brought warmth and gravitas, whether in radio, film, or TV. Research in narrative psychology reveals audiences remember characters who evoke genuine emotion, however fleeting their screen time.
His life mirrored his characters: steady, humble, and quietly influential. How can we apply his example of gentle leadership to our own lives?
Gentle leadership emphasizes empathy and consistency over charisma. Like Crucian, we can strive to be the anchors in our communities, understanding that quiet support often leaves the deepest legacy.
Turning to the leading younger stars, John Stamos, Dave Coulier, and Candace Cameron Bure faced personal crises despite their outward success. How did confronting these struggles lead to meaningful transformation?
Each battled unique demons: Stamos with addiction and self-image, Coulier with career setbacks and illness, and Bure with eating disorders and public scrutiny. By seeking help and embracing vulnerability, they modeled positive change akin to the hero's journey of overcoming adversity.
Coulier's recent cancer battle, for example, has inspired many. How does public openness about health challenges help destigmatize these experiences?
Visibility matters. When public figures like Coulier share their health battles, it normalizes seeking treatment and fosters a supportive culture, as shown by increased cancer screenings after celebrity disclosures.
Child stardom shaped the Olsens, Jodie Sweetin, and Andrea Barber, but each charted a radically different adult path. What psychological pressures do child actors face, and how did these 3 navigate them?
Child actors often struggle with identity and autonomy, as highlighted by studies from UCLA. The Olsens retreated from acting to build fashion empires, Sweetin fought addiction and found advocacy, while Barber forged a new identity outside Hollywood before returning on her own terms.
Their choices reflect different strategies for reclaiming agency. How can their stories inform anyone seeking to redefine themselves after a formative chapter in life?
Their journeys show that reinvention is possible at any stage. By acknowledging past pressures and making intentional choices, we can reshape our futures, regardless of how deeply our early experiences defined us.
Lori Loughlin's dramatic fall from grace was a sobering reminder of fame's double-edged sword. What are the psychological and social costs when a public figure's image shatters overnight?
Such scandals trigger public schadenfreude and personal isolation. Loughlin's experience illustrates how closely self-worth can become tied to external validation, and how quickly that support can vanish in the face of controversy, a dynamic outlined in celebrity culture studies.
Yet, even in scandal, there's room for growth. What actionable steps can someone in crisis take to rebuild their life and sense of self-worth?
First, acceptance, owning mistakes without denial. Then, engaging in restorative actions such as community service or advocacy. Research shows these steps can foster genuine self-forgiveness and help rebuild trust over time.
As we reflect on these intertwined stories of joy, loss, and redemption, what enduring lessons does the Full House cast offer for anyone seeking personal growth today?
Their collective journey teaches that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, but about how we respond by seeking help, embracing change, and channeling pain into purpose. Like the show's messages, these real-world lessons invite us to nurture empathy, adaptability, and forgiveness.
And as we close, let's remember, our favorite moments from Full House weren't just scripted, they were echoes of genuine human struggle and hope. Thank you for joining us on this reflective journey.
Thank you. May we all continue learning, growing, and sharing our stories just as the Full House family did, both on and off the screen.